Okay,
Let me give a shout out right quick to my boys in San Antonio.
What's
Mark
up, boys?
and Dustin. And I would like to announce, so Robby Burnett can hear this loud and clear.
Robby Burnett.
Robby Burnett.
I know Robby.
I was under the assumption that Robby Burnett was indeed the strongest right arm in the state of Texas.
Wait. Why were you under that assumption?
Because of the internet.
What do you mean?
That's what the people say. That's who he beats. He's the guy. He's calling the beast out quietly. But I was under that assumption. However, he's not the strongest arm in Texas, nor is he the best arm wrestler in Texas. Those two titles belong to a young man named Dimitri Ketchen.
And is he newer?
Does it sound like he was born right there in the great state of Texas?
That does not sound like a Texan name.
But he is there. And I tell you, the beast snatched a hold of him. Whoa! No way Robby Burnett could beat Dimitri Ketchen. No way.
So they didn't arm wrestle. You're just saying.
No, I just came to Texas last weekend, spur of the moment, 10 days, got coordinated. The beast, can you come? I said, hey, money talks. And thanks to Gary Ray, thanks to the San Antonio boys, Mark and Dustin. I love those guys because they brought the beast to Texas. But there's a problem in San Antonio. His name is Dimitri Ketchen. He is the best guy in Texas. He is not as good as me, but I would love to have a match with the winner of Dimitri and Robby Burnett.
And
when I sign this big-ass contract to come back to Lake Travis in Austin next year, where I just was at the Gnarley Gar Destination Tournament. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't know what that means.
That means that it's a tournament. You're not as much worried about the tournament as the destination.
You're saying
Scottsdale, Arizona, for the NAL championships for 2 running years before COVID got us, has a talking stick casino that has a pool party right in the middle of Scottsdale. And from speaking with the arm wrestlers there, it's a destination tournament, right? Like, that's where you want to be. Just like back in the day, the Harley pool was that way.
I was just thinking about the Harley pool.
Harley pool. Love it, right? It's the destination, right? When you start thinking about what room you want in the hotel because of the view, this shit's hot. So I want to run destination events in this place. You mark my words. Outside of Austin, Texas is Lake Travis. Okay? They named this lake after the beast.
I thought you were making it up. I was like, Lake Travis.
Okay. It's Lake Travis Bagent. Everyone just says Lake Travis.
Okay.
Right? Been there 200 years, believe it or not. Named it after the beast.
As old as Ron Bath.
I get there and I tell these guys on the opening speech, I'm like, listen, it has been my dream ever since they named this lake after me to come here and gather. The Gnarley Gar in Austin, thanks to Gary Ray, thanks to the San Antonio guys, Robby Burnett cannot beat Dimitri Ketchen. Welcome to the show, Gary. How are you?
How long? It's funny you asked that. I'm not doing too well. I need the Bagent to cheer me up. I need the Bagent to cheer me up.
I got a news for you. When I was listening to those damn stories you were telling, I was disgusted. I wanted to leave. Did we lose viewers? Did we lose any subscribers? Jesus cramily.
Listen, sorry,
man. I'm moving up, man. I'm going up. Positivity. What is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you, bro?
It's the dangers of opening up so much till you get
Don't give me any of that shit. None of it.
Can you hold on 1 second?
No. All right. All right. What'd you say? Something about Bubs?
Nap time. Nap time.
Nap time.
Okay, so can I apologize?
Shoo. Man, don't fuck this show up.
The last time we got off, you said, it felt like we spent a lot of time on you.
I mean, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready for the great story. No, I don't want to hear no more of these bad stories, man. No.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
No.
I have to say you were right. Bill Collins, he said he is going to sue me.
Of course he is. This fucking guy is tripping. I got news for you. I am 2 days away from getting a letter says I can't use my logo anymore. I'll guarantee you. Just because of you in this show. Holy shit.
Dude, I scrubbed his whole Facebook. I couldn't find one mention of RMTV. If you bought half of RMTV, wouldn't you have said something to somebody?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.
One more thing, then we're moving on.
Yes, sir. What's up?
The schoolboy thing.
Listen, that's the simplest. It's the simplest thing in the world to fucking explain. Do you want me to explain the schoolboy situation to you? The name was hardcore, but just like Bill Collins, they caught you at a point where you were not paying attention to arm wrestling at all, to the point that your value in your mind was this much. You did that because there is no fucking way in the world that Schoolboy or Bill Collins is in this situation right now if you don't go to work with Savon, go to CrossFit, lose 200 pounds, meet this hot chick, get married, have a kid, and be lucky enough that the catastrophe of losing the career was soft. It was a soft landing because of the stud that you hung out with, which then only because you have married a stud do you now have the opportunity to then bounce back. And now you have the audacity to be retardedly upset about people that recognize your value as more than this. They recognize the value. That's, I'm just telling you, nobody gets fucked except you. Just nobody cares that Joseph went on a tear. I told you, my man Joseph out in Minnesota, he don't play that shit. You take some content and my man is to strangle you. So I get it. But I'm just telling you right now, if it's the same story, every single person, if that's the business they're in, everyone has the story. And the story of the video guy, the story of the web guy is that, hey, yo, don't ever touch my shit. Yet, shit's being touched all the time.
Okay, just one, I respect that opinion, and thank you for giving that to me. I just have one more thing. None of you guys, when you saw that RMTV on his website, which you know you did, how come none of my friends called me to say, hey?
Because you didn't call any of us to tell you what your Fran time was, ever. You did not call us while you were filming the fat loser, whatever the fat man. You were living your life. Every one of us said, damn, that dude done bought Arm TV. And then we called Gary, and Gary's like, yo, man, I'm filming the fat man. Fucking shut the fuck up. Don't call me back. I'm with Savon. All right, motherfucker. Listen, I'm just telling you right now, I honestly, too, I thought Arm TV was worth this much because you wasn't there anymore. You decided you had a job. I have no reason to think that I'm serious. You didn't care about Arm TV, and that's why it got taken. That's all. Now,
dude,
what do you want? Do you want it back? What's your goal? If you could have whatever you wanted, what would be the deal?
Well, I mean, for one, I just wish somebody recognized it, like, why I'd be upset. I mean, everyone's like, what's your problem? Oh, man.
Yeah. Your problem is you're mad at yourself.
Dude, why would I sign a thing with Bill unless I really wanted to bring Arm TV back? Obviously, I was trying to find ways.
Oh, I thought you gave it to Bill so that he could bring Arm TV back because you had no intentions of ever fucking with Arm TV again. Am I wrong about that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Listen,
I thought I didn't have the time to do it.
I'm giving you perception, I believe, of the majority of people that have not even 2 minutes to spend on anything about stealing content off the internet and stealing the trademark name is a little hardcore. It is a little hardcore. Can we get Alex on the phone to discuss exactly? Have you ever discussed the process? I mean, because in my opinion, Alex did not sit at home and say, "Oh, I'm gonna jack Gary's shit because it's worth $1 million." I think that Alex was a arm wrestling fan, just like Artem, just like probably you, picked up a camera, realized there was a couple dollars that they were going to be at the place where if they just filmed it, they could maybe get their gas money paid for, right? Maybe they could film their aunt who was arm wrestling for the first day. I don't know. But I find it hard to believe that the entire process was a deliberate mastermind scheme to understand that even though Gary rates this as zero worth, it's really worth $1 gazillion, and I'm going to grab it and rob it. I mean, if that did happen, you're the only one that cares. If that happened, and that's bad, that's all the way bad, you're the only one that cares. And if it didn't happen like that and it was way more accidentally and organic and you allowed it because you were gone, and not only were you gone, you did not think that you would come back as the present form you're in. No way. I mean, look at your fucking signage. Look at the signage all over you. Hey, and I love you, bro. Dude, I got problems too, man. I would love to tell you them, but you know what you're going to say? Bro,
What?
Makes perfect fucking sense. Yeah. Everyone has that problem. If you're in that business, you have that problem. But listen, you got it. What are you going to do about Bill Collins, man? I mean, gee, man. Hey, what does Bill Collins, what's he want? What's he want? Start a lucrative career, marriage with you, and roll forever? What's he want?
Here's what I came up with. Are you ready? Arm TV is me. Without Arm TV, yes, it's not worth zero, but but the name is still valuable to me, regardless of what you say. But when Arm TV
I'm just saying, as valuable as you thought it was to you, that name, how the fuck did this happen? What exactly were you doing for 4 years where you did not even one time click Arm TV on the Google thing? Because my man would have popped up third. I mean, I'm just saying, how much value did you have for it when you signed it over to Bill for free?
Bill said he would invest money, which he did not.
Correct. Yeah, you guys didn't do it. Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't have money to invest. He said he would put money into it. I thought that was
To
my
do what?
only.
Right. But I mean, what were you going to do? Were you going to get back in the arm wrestling then? Is that what you were going to do? Or you were just going to, you didn't have to get back. You just had to sign that paper and he would take care of everything with content and money.
See, I'm stupid. The paperwork said nothing specific, but we talked about, like, obviously if I ever wanted to come back, I would. And it was like that door was open. But the point of the story is,
when you contacted Bill now, does he want to do the investing and does he have a plan? Has he just been?
No, I think he wants half of whatever I do now going forward. But here, okay.
Right, yeah, okay. Well, then that's fine. And put the number on it. I think $650,000 is the initial investment that we need to clear up.
Yeah. Okay. So
No
just to add on to what you're saying, if you're saying that over the last 4 years, I showed zero value by caring, that's exactly.
No. You asked me why we didn't tell you about RMTV, and I'm just saying. I didn't tell you, but how the fuck did you know?
Like, but that's my point, is that Bill Collins didn't care either.
Not at all.
Right. So how does he claim ownership when he didn't care?
Listen, yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know how Bill Collins is possibly, except you have to know that the person that resides over this case, it's not going to be an arm wrestler. It's going to be some person that's looking at paperwork. But I mean, listen, liquidate everything immediately. Let's roll. What is this thing called? Beast TV. Beast my arm. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. I'll sign the paper with you right now. Matter of fact, like, hey, let's just rebrand everything.
RMTV means, okay, I get what you're saying, but RMTV, those words, I have me on camera saying, Gary Roberts RMTV, it's so meaningful to me, those words. I mean, it's important. Anyways, okay, let's go to Beast.
Rebrand.
Okay, listen, Game of Arms, you talked about, like, the contracts, and you talked about you getting into, like, at the last minute, but I kind of want to more like what the filming process was like, what your involvement with the teams and the stories, and like, was it like, we hear about reality TV, like, it's kind of scripted, but kind of real. Before we get into the Tom Nelson, like, I want to get the build up. We've already covered some of the contract stuff. I want to cover more of the details of what the experience was like, and then build up to the Tom Nelson stuff. Like, did you have a choice of the teams? How did you know about teams? Like, tell me about, what was your first call of Game of Arms with, like, hey, we want you to be with so-and-so?
My first call was from, I believe it was Ben Murray. Now, I'm not 100%, but Ben Murray ended up being a human being that I did a lot of work with throughout the Game of Arms and with the World Arm Wrestling League. Almost my entire dealings with the Game of Arms and the WAL, Ben Murray was my point of contact for the whole situation. Ben is a producer, director, project manager, but super humble, like on the bottom floor, helping with the grimiest of things. Yet, when we go into Fox Studios with Steve Kaplan or with Dan Alani, he's there as well. So, reminds me a lot of Savan, not quite as artistic, but amazing, even better at managing, I would say. And pretty damn artistic too. So, so Ben Murray calls and says, we are thinking about doing a reality show, da-da-da-da-da. Would you be interested? I say yes. 4 months probably goes by. I get another phone call, and it is Bart Wood, and maybe Don Underwood, Alan Fisher, Mike Solaris. I don't know which, but those 4 guys had not only been contacted, but had like Skype interviews and were starting to all believe that they were going to be the host of a team. Right. So Bart,
because of their skills or because of like personality?
Because they have been talking to Ben Murray and they have been through the process, and Ben Murray has alerted them that they are in the final 8 of the 4 or 5 teams. Right. So there were a couple people who thought they were going to get a team too, towards the last bit of it. It just didn't work out. And I don't remember exactly some of the cities that wanted them. And I think Cobra at first had his own team. And then at the last minute went out to the Kansas City team. And then for me personally, I was in a serious negotiation with Robert Drank at the time with the UAL.
Right. We went over this story, so
we did.
You don't have.
It's all good. So because of that, I was almost at the end, and right towards the end, Ben Murray came to the CrossFit Games to get some lie detector test stuff done. That's how they had to have some a couple of the people, the players had to do some psychological evaluations and shit.
What? Why?
Well, not just because it was just part of the screening. Now, as out of the whole staff, 3 or 4 had to, because I brought Bart, Dave Chafee, who else? Devin Larrett, Michael Todd, Jeff Hale, Cobra Rhodes. So Cobra, Bart, and Dave, 3 cast members, were in LA. It was the cheapest way for them to just do those 3 guys. So Ben Murray came and took those guys to do some further, test and stuff for the show. Some psychological evaluation.
And before you go on, at this point, was the whole format with how the show would be figured out, or were they still kind of like, we're not exactly
I think so.
sure?
No. By this time, Bart had a team. Bart, Dave, and him were going to be in Pennsylvania, and Cobra was going to be in Kansas City, and I guess Chop and them were down there in Louisiana, and Tom Nelson and them in California. They had their probably 6 or 7 guys that were going to make up that 5-man team. There was still a couple guys that got cut at the very end. Stephen Green, somebody in California, or maybe California had 6 guys because they were going to cut Luke, or this is a bunch of drama at the very end. I at the CrossFit Games 3 or 4 weeks before filming was still not on the roster and not even speaking to them, telling them I was not interested because it was known that you couldn't sign with the UAL if you did this, right? So because I start rocking it at the CrossFit Games, Ben Murray's like, yo, we need you. I end up signing at the very end and, renegotiating my contract a little bit and making sure that I could get paid a little bit more. And
at that point, so Devin Larrett's like not close to any of these teams. But
no, the only thing Devin Larrett's nowhere to be seen because this is season 1. Right.
Oh,
so we end up doing season 1. Devin was not in season 1 at all.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he was.
But
okay.
Devin was at the CrossFit Games, and he did meet Ben Murray. And then again, at the finale of the Game of Arms season 1, Devin came there just to make sure that he wanted to be a part of season 2. So he got himself in. So now we're starting season 2. They have reshuffled the teams, eliminated the Pennsylvania team, and taken me down to Louisiana to be on that team with Craig and Chuck.
Okay. So don't go that forward. So when you're about to sign the first contract, did you know you'd be on Bart's team?
Yes.
You kind of knew that.
I knew because they were going to film in 5 days, and they had already had the show ready. We filmed episode 3. I was not a member of the show until after they had already filmed episode 1 and 2.
Okay, so when you went to Louisiana to watch them film,
that was the second week.
What was your opinions of that experience? Like, what did you, did they make up shit? You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. What did they say?
Yes.
Hey, you're gonna,
yes.
you got to lose this match. Like, describe the process.
No. There was no staging of the matches. There was no staging of the matches. There was staging of the order and which arm they would pull. And there was a little bit of negotiating that would always go between the producers and the fellow teams. But eventually they would work it out so that at least both teams thought they had a chance to win 3-2. You had a chance.
So an arm wrestler, what I've experienced when you go into a tournament and you're trying to keep yourself psyched up all day, the experience of filming like a day of shooting for a reality show as an arm wrestler, was it where you had to be jacked, like waiting for a match, or was it chill?
It was, the first time you go there, you're jacked the whole time because you're not really sure of the process. But eventually there would be a process, right? The process would be you would gather in the morning, you would talk about the match schedule, you would do all the introductions, right? And then you would do them all again. And then the third time you would actually arm wrestle the whole thing. And then you would reenact the entire thing again with a little bit of staging, but the person who won the match was still the winner.
What do you mean reenact?
In other words,
you had to redo the whole thing?
Me and you walk up there and we arm wrestle a best of 3 out of 5 super match, and we switch sides 1 minute in between. Everything is normal. And then after that, we reintroduce ourselves and we get up there and we stage for 30 seconds just looking at each other. Then whoever won the last match or whatever match they wanted to recreate, we would just do a lot of maybe 5 or 6 ready goes, making the match look better, but the same winner would win. There was never a time where a guy would win and come back, reenact, and lose. That didn't happen. But there was all kinds of B-roll of the two guys in the environment, staged at the same place, same people on the left shoulder, right shoulder, So, but the arm wrestling was serious, but it was seriously done with not a lot of integrity from the arm wrestlers and zero authority. There was no authority. So it wasn't like regular tournaments where the prize is in the hands of the tournament director, who is then in charge of the rules, the regulations. If you don't follow the rules, you don't win the money. They were all getting paid already. It was a wild, wild west. There was not a real referee that had any authority or any rules. So it made for a lot of great shit. I mean,
so when you were talking about the last time, you were talking about your opinions on going in and what like practice pulling is, and you just like how much, and then you compare that you're going for $5,000 at like a Las Vegas event or Wall Hammer. These matches, where was your intensity with wanting to win?
My intensity was all the way up to the Wall Hammer. However, it had to be done much more gritty because you never knew, like shit, you could be up there 25 minutes. Me and Devin, we were at a half hour into it when I'm up 2-0 before the fight.
So did they tell you, oh, here's what we want to happen? Did they give you like a storyline, or did you tell them, well, here's I don't like that guy and I'm really.
Yeah. I mean, you would get the matchups and then immediately the guys would start what they thought was the trash talking, but it really, if you're either good at that or you're not good at it. So of course they played that element of the matchups. And then of course, inside the team, there were fake dramas and, things that would just take place. Like it was obvious that Dave and I were eventually going to meet, right? So throughout the show, they're like, we're trying to act like we're pumping each other up with these matches, but really we both know that first of all, we're both going to win because we're way too good for these guys that were getting ready to arm wrestle in season 1, right? And then in season 2, I had to deal with the drama of my team not being that good. So we were probably going to lose most of the team competitions, but win, I was going to win personally. So, you know, there was a producer for each team, and then she had 2 executive producers that would do individual shoots with each 5 guys. And then there would be a lady or a man, you know, producer in charge of the entire team. Each team had about an 8-man staff that would meet in their cities and stay the whole week. At the end of the week, the visiting team would do the airplane ride. The host team would do the preparations for the home match. And then the next week, those film crews would go out to their other teams and they would start the whole week thing again. So they would arrive on Monday. You would travel if you had to on Thursday. We'd have the match on Saturday. They pack up on Sunday and get to the new location. They did every week for 11 weeks or so, you know, 10 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, and then 2 weeks off for the final. And then it was a done deal. Sometimes there'd be a week in between, but for the most part, that's how they rocked it. And it was awesome. It was first class. And I had just come off CrossFit and their production value and how amazing the opens were and the CrossFit games were becoming. And these guys were right there. I mean, they had the film crews, they had the sound guys. Everybody was a stud.
So I was going through my old footage with some over the top behind the scenes, and I had an interview with Bruce Way where he basically was saying, I made the show because of my personality, but they really considered me like an amateur, like not at the top level. You don't have to say names, so I don't want to get in trouble. But did some people make the show that, let's say, they had you match up with Bob, and Bob was clearly like not even a fraction of what he should be, but they're like, we need it to be a little closer because we need some drama, so pretend like Bob is a pro.
We hope you like the content. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Now click that little bell icon so you get notified. This was Gary Roberts and Travis Bagent live.
Damn it!
Do something else. Don't ever say them 2 names to me.